You can use 3 different types of colored yarn. However, you can use a 4th one if you want your cast off yarn to be a different color. If you wanted to make a magic circle, you would just make it like a little X. You put the needle down like this, like how we did before. Okay, so now you have a loop around your hook and a loop here. And yarn over, and I'm going to put it into the circle, pull through. And you can, that's how you make a magic circle. Now I do have a video on YouTube on how to make a magic circle easy. If you want to see a more detailed video, I believe it is a very good technique to make a magic circle. So you would put your yarn like that in an X, and then you put your needle downward, and then this is downward like that. And I'm going to start with 3 chain. Now, this is the way you would do it if you don't want to do a magic circle. Then you put it back into the first loop and pull through. Now you have a little circle here that you can use instead of a magic circle. Chained 2. I skipped the next single crochet. So I chained 2, I skipped a single crochet, and then in the next one I had done a single crochet and I chained 2. And then after I chained 2, I skipped the next V, and I went into here. I did a single crochet, and then I chained 2, which created holes here, which are very lovely and pretty. And you can see that there are eight holes in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We are working on round 3 of winter. This isn't very difficult at all. So we're going to work the entire round in the front loops only of each stitch. So we're going to find the next chain 2 that I created, which would be right here. Okay, and in that chain 2, we are going to do 3 stitches. We're going to do single crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet. And this is going to be for a petal. So let's start that. So we're going to do single crochet in this petal right here. Single crochet, half double crochet, and then a single crochet. Okay, so we have 3 stitches done in one space. It's going to be our petal. And then we're going to single crochet in the next single crochet, which would be right here. And remember that we're working the entire round in the front loops. We're working on round 4. So we're going to locate our round 2. We're going to find round 2. And that's right here. So the way that you find round 2 is you're going to locate your magic circle right here. And you're going to count your rounds. Well, that was round 1. And this is round 2. And and then up here is round 3. Okay, so you're going to find your round 2, which my round 2 is right here. It's right above that magic circle. Round 2 would be right here, right where my thumbnail is. And we're going to locate the back loop, because this whole round is going to be working in back loops only. So this is where my stitch is, right here, where in between my fingers are, where that stitch is for round 1. I mean round 2 is first stitch. Okay, and having stitch markers really helps. Okay, so we notice that this is the front loop, and then behind it right here is the back loop. So we're going to be working in the back loop. See, if we went like this, we went forward, we could try that. Okay, so we're going to chain 5 because we want this petal to be in front of your circle here. So we're going to chain 5. And if we don't like that, we can work from behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now this is going to make our height. Now if you don't like this height, you think it's too high, you can do less if you like of the chains. Chain 5, skip next SC. Okay, so we're going to find our next SC, which would be from round 2. Alright, so I had to locate the second stitch in round 2. Okay, and I put a stitch marker right there so I can see where I'm working at. Okay, so I had done the 5 chain, and I'm going to put it in the next stitch. So we skipped it, we made the chain, we skipped the next SC, single crochet, and now we're going to go into the next single crochet in the back loop. I'm working with a number 5 hook. Okay, now I'm going to single crochet in here to complete this petal. Okay, now we've got the petal, and now we're just going to repeat this. Repeat in the back loop only. We are going to do a single crochet in here. Okay, so that kind of like closes up and makes the petal when you're doing that single crochet. So you can see the petal right here. So we have two petals. We have one right here and one right here. And it does help to use your tally marker so you know exactly how many you've done. Okay, so now we are going to, we have slips. Basically what you're doing here, it's almost like a slip stitch, but it's a single crochet. Now we're going, yes, this music is from my main page, Tiffany Juliet, and these beautiful photos here we're taking from a vacation when we were on a cruise. Okay, so now this creates petal number 3. So we have petal 1, 2, and 3. And so we're going to repeat that again. Okay, so I just finished the round, which was round 4. It came out nice. I think I accidentally got a couple more loops than I should have. I might have been too precise in finding chain of 5. And we're going to be doing a petal, so we're going to have to chain 5. And that 5, that chain, is going to give us our height for the next petal. So this is where we're working. We're working in this stitch right here. And in next chain of 5 work, we're going to do those stitches. We're going to be doing 6 stitches. We're going to be doing 6 different types of stitches in here, and that's going to make that petal quite long. Okay. So let's start with our single crochet. So we're going to go in. We're going to go in here where we're working, and we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to do a half double crochet. So we're going to go back into here, and we're going to yarn over, pull through, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through the 2 loops, and then we're going to do 3 double crochet. Just going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops on the hook, and then we're going to go through the second 2 loops, and we're going to do this three times. So this is number 2 for the double crochet. And then number 3 double crochet. Do a half double crochet, still in this same stitch that we're working in. It's good to put your finger right here so you know that this is the same stitch, but you don't want to stretch it out too far. And then single crochet, as this is, we're making a petal here. The petals are done in 1 stitch, okay. And then when we have our petal made, and now we are just going to repeat that, and then it's through the whole round, and then we'll get to the end, we're going to join it. So here's our petal. That is quite a large petal right here, from my thumb to this finger here, okay. And it's going to lay like this. Okay, so I have secured that, and that's how it's going to look from the side. And so then we are going to continue, and we're going to repeat that pattern. I am working on round 5. So we are going to do 4 chain stitches. I'm using a 5mm crochet hook, and we're going to wrap the working yarn twice around the hook, crochet hook. And then we are going to push our crochet hook into the V, and then we're going to wrap our yarn over the hook, and we're going to pull through. So we have 4 loops on our crochet hook. Then we're going to wrap around the crochet hook, and we're going to go over 2 loops. Then we're going to go through 2 loops. Wrap, go over the last 2. Okay, now we have our triple crochet stitch, and we're going to do this through the whole round, and at every 3rd stitch we will be doing an increase. So let's begin our 2nd stitch. Okay, now we are ready to do our 3rd stitch. Where we will be doing 2 triple stitches, also called treble, in the same stitch. Okay, now we just did 1. Now we're going to do the 2nd triple stitch in US terms. Pull that out, do that again. Okay. So I'm doing this in increments of 15. So I'm going to be counting 15 stitches. And when I get back to 1, I'll do stitch 1, stitch 2, and then stitch 3 will have the increase. So we've done 3 stitches. Now we're on 4. Then we're going to go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're going to do 15 stitches. Then after 15, we're going to count 1 again, and then we're going to go do the stitch on 1, 2, and then on stitch 3, we're going to do our increase of 2 of these treble stitches, also called triple stitch. Okay, and I will see you at the end of the round for round 6. So you are going to start by chaining 3. Now this round is going to have bobble stitches. We're going to make a bobble stitch, and then after that we're going to do 6 single crochet in US terms, and then another bobble stitch, and we're going to repeat that pattern through the whole round. So I just did a bobble stitch. I've done 2 so far, and I'll show you how to do a bobble stitch in the round. So I'm going to since I finished my second bobble, I'm going to do 6 single crochet. Okay, we're on number 3. Four, and then we're doing number 5. Okay, now we're going to do number 6, single crochet, and then in the 7th stitch we're going to do a bobble. Okay, now the way that we do a bobble is we are going to make it like kind of like how you're doing a double crochet. Okay, we're going to pull through the first 2 loops, and now we're going to do that again. We're just going to yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops till we have 5 loops on our crochet hook. So we're doing the last one, so we're going to yarn over and pull through. Okay, now we have 5 loops on here on our hook. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through all of these loops. Okay, now we're going to create, see how I pulled this up a little bit to make this on our hook a little bit bigger. Okay, now we are going to do a single crochet, but before we finish off the single crochet, we're going to do our single crochet on the back side of our bobble. So here's our bobble right here, so we're going to do this on the back side. So we're going to finish this off by yarning over and pulling through. That makes your bobble stick up and stand up by having your single crochet on the back side. There's your single crochet. And your bobble's going to stick up there. Okay, so that is how you do a bobble in the round. Okay, and so we're going to continue with our pattern, and we are going to do 6 single crochet. Now remember that we are increasing in this, so we are going to be increasing every 20th stitch. So we have done, to figure out how many stitches that I've done. So just remember that every 20th stitch you're going to do an increase. Do a single crochet increase when you get to the 20th stitch. Round 7 will be done in triple stitch, also called treble stitch, abbreviated TC, and we are going to be increasing in every 25th stitch. So we are going to chain 4, which we just did right here, and we are going to wrap the working thread twice, And then we're going to take our 5mm crochet hook and we're going to put it through our stitch. So we're going to have 4 loops now on our crochet hook. Now we're going to wrap around and go through the first 2. Wrap around our hook, go through the first 2, wrap around our hook and go through the first 2. We have made our first triple stitch in round 7, and we are going to continue to do that, and we are going to count our stitches, so when we get to stitch 25 we're going to increase by creating 2 of these triple stitches in stitch 25, and it does help to have a tally marker or to write it down. Okay, and I will see you at the end of this round for round 8. Round 8. And we're going to do a single crochet, increase every 4th stitch, and on the 5th we're going to make our bobble. We're going to yarn over, then insert. Pull through first 2 loops, yarn over, insert into our stitch, pull through the first 2 loops. Okay, we're going to keep on doing that till we have 5 loops on our hook. Okay, now we have 5 loops on our hook. Then we're going to pull, we're going to take our yarn over and pull through all 5. Now we want this to pop so you can see it. So you're going to want to make your single crochet in the same stitch, but you're going to do it behind. So you're going to put your hook behind your bobble that you've done, and that makes it possible for this to show and pop up in the round. You can also put your finger under it if you wanted to. Okay, now you've got your bobble. Okay, so we're going to do 4 single crochets, and the 4th one we're going to increase. So we're just going to continue doing this through the whole entire round, this pattern. Okay, and I will see you at the end of this round. We are ready to begin round 9. I have so far 53 stitches going all the way around in this pink yarn. And for round 9, I am going to do, in US terms, single crochet, and I'm going to increase every 6 stitches. And of course, at the beginning of the round, I'm going to chain 3 for the beginning. Actually, I'm going to chain 2. Okay, so we're going to chain 2 first. So at the end of round 8, we're going to want to do our slip stitch in the last chain of 3 from the previous round. Then we're going to want to chain 2 because we are going to do slip stitches. And it's always nice to have something to mark your stitches, you can use a stitch marker, or you can use a piece of yarn. A little piece of yarn works very well with that too. So we're going to do single crochet, and in every 6 stitch we are going to increase. Okay, so we're ready to do an increase. Which is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. We're going to be doing finger knitting, and we're going to be increasing every 7th stitch. So I have put the new color in just by putting it into the stitch and knotting it. And so we're going to finger knit in the round, and we're going to make our stitches around 2 inches. And every 7th stitch we're increasing. So we're going to put our fingers right here in the middle of our stitch, and we're going to take our material and we're just going to pull through. Now if you want to make a blanket without any crocheting in it, I do have a video on my YouTube page, Tiffany's Crafts, on how to knit a finger blanket. It's actually a lot like a bedspread. I made it as big as a bedspread. And also on how to make foundation chains too. So we have made our first loop at about 2 inches. And now we're going to go into the next stitch here. And we are going to pull this up to about 2 inches. Now you can measure each one if you want, but it'll go faster if you just eye this. It'll go quicker. So we're just going to put our fingers through the stitch, and we're going to pull through to approximately 2 inches. Now, the bigger your loop is, the less material you are going to use. Plus, you want your loops big enough that your fingers can fit in here for when you are doing the next round. So you don't want your loops to be small at all. So we've done a few, and this is how it's going to look for the 7th stitch. So an increase is just 2 stitches in your original stitch. So we've done one in this stitch. Okay, now we're just going to do a second one. But we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to take the material and we're going to put it forward towards us, like that. Because if you didn't do that and you had the material in the back, this loop would fall apart. It would not stay. So you're going to put this in front, okay? And then you're going to put the material in through the loop like that. I'll show you again. You're going to take your material just like this. You're going to put it in the front, and then you're going to pull it through like that. And that's how you're going to get 2 loops in 1 stitch. And it's going to look like that. And increases are important because that's what makes your blanket bigger. If you didn't do increases, it would always stay at the same at the same size. So now you're just going to take this material, okay, and you're going to put it behind, just like how you had always done before. And that is how you're going to do your increase. So this makes it, we're doing it in increments of 7 stitches, so we're counting that as 1. And now we have our material in the back, which is just what we want, okay? And that is how you're going to do your increase. And I will see you at the end of the round. We have this last stitch here, and we are not going to do a slip stitch as we had done before when we were crocheting with the pink material. We are just going to make a loop. Okay, and it's going to be 2 inches as we have been doing all of them so far. I'm working on the finger knit pattern for color C, which is this white here. And our loops are 2 inches long, which is 5 centimeters, and we're knitting a true circle. Now with a true circle, you have to stagger the stitches so you're not knitting the increases in the same place on each round. Because if you don't do this technique, the circle will turn into a polygon shape. We are working on round 2, and we're going to do an increase in every stitch for a total of 124 stitches. Right now we have 62 inches, and our blanket is 13 inches across, which is 33 centimeters. So we're doing round 2, and we're doing increase on each one. So we're going to do the increases exactly like how we had done before. And I have already started with this, and I have an increase. Now an increase is two stitches in 1 stitch. And I have a little marker here to indicate where the beginning of each round is. And if you use a marker, it will really help you. And I would suggest doing that, either using a ribbon to indicate it, or one of these little markers similar to what I have. So this is my stitch for round 1 right here, and I have 2 stitches right here. These 2 stitches are in this round here, are in the stitch. So I have 2 loops in 1 stitch. Okay, so we're going to continue, and I'll show you how to do the increases with the next stitch. So this is our next stitch, and I'm just going to pull this through. We want approximately 2 inches. And we want to make a second stitch in here. So we're going to take our material and put it in front of our stitch that we're working in. And we're going to pull this through. Pull our material through till it's about 2 inches. Okay, so now we have an increase in this stitch here. And so we're just going to keep repeating that until we go through the whole round and finish it. Now for round 2, you want 124 stitches going around, and we did an increase in every stitch. And you can see that I have baggy ties. Now 2 loops equal 1 stitch. And so I put a baggy tie on each stitch so I could easily count how many stitches I have at the end of the round. And also I'm going to be doing something a little bit different here. As you can see, some of the stitches are forward and some of the stitches are backwards. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm not going to, for round 3, be attaching the stitches that are in the front. So then they kind of will be sticking up like this when the blanket is complete. Kind of like a 3D effect. So the way that I was able to figure out what stitches go where is that I looked at my first stitch, which is here indicated with this blue stitch marker. 1 forward, 1 back, 1 stitch forward, 1 stitch back. And I would do that through the whole entire round. To begin round 3, we're going to increase in every other stitch for a total of 186 stitches. However, we are not going to do the stitches that are in the front. We're just going to be attaching our working yarn to the stitches that are on the bottom. So we're going to do like this stitch, this one, and we're going to ignore the ones that are on the top. So before you begin round 3, determine which stitches that you want to be placed up front, forward, and then determine the stitches that you want that are going to be placed back. I have this moved forward. We're doing round 3. I have this stitch moved forward. And I'm going to take my working yarn and put it behind my 2 loops. And we're just going to make 1 loop by taking our yarn and pulling it forward into the 2 loops like this. Round 4, we're increasing every 3rd stitch, and we're going to have a total of 39 stitches. So I counted this stitch as 1, and this is 2, and then this stitch would be 3, and then I'm going to count this stitch again as 1, and we'll do an increase, and then 2 and 3, and then this stitch will be 1, and we'll do an increase on that one. And we're going to go through the whole round, and it should be a total of 39 stitches total. So I cut off the old color, which was the white, which is color C. I'm going to add a new color for the end chain. You don't have to do that. You could continue with your color C if you want, but I would like to have a new color for the end chain. If you want to continue with the older color, you can refer to my other video online on how to make an end chain. So to make a new color, you're going to cut the old color and you're going to knot the new color to the old color, and I double knotted it. Then I made a loop about 2 inches. Now we're going to go to the next loop. Now if you were just going to use all white, you would just put your old loop into the new loop. But because we're doing a new color, we're going to make a new loop of pink, just like how we have been doing when we were making our loops on our blanket. So we made a loop. Now we're going to take the new loop and we're going to put it into the first loop. And we're going to be going counterclockwise. So now we're going to find our next loop, which is right here, and we're going to repeat this. I'm making this loop about 2 inches, up to the point where this loop is. And we're just going to keep repeating that until our round is done. When the round is done, we're going to want to knot the ends. Cut the yarn, knot the end,